Good afternoon. It is day 3 of Mental Health Week, or Mental Health Awareness Week, sorry, shall I say. It is, once again, sorry for the Onslow look. I had to put this in a wash last night. Got it dried quickly and wore it today. I put a t-shirt on this morning, regretted it since, so I put this on. But yeah, so from yesterday, from today, as I say, this is day 3, and there are a couple of things that I wanted to get out, and I thought, you know what, if I write it down, it's going to sound scripted. So just trying to remember it off the top of my head. So if I pause, or if I do that, or if I do that, don't worry. I'm not trying to make things up. I'm trying to, I'm trying to remember what I was saying. This is take 2, by the way. So the first video, I pressed OK, and YouTube said uncompatible, despite me using the YouTube app, and just deleted it. So I was fuming. So anyway, so basically, I'm still seeing a lot of people. Now, obviously, I'm not an influencer. I'm not going to expect to have 10,000 people go, "Oh, look, that bald guy said let's not pretend we know that if people smile, their depression goes away." But Twitter this morning, just ridiculous. The amount of people that were sharing the hashtag Mental Health Awareness Week was brilliant. But then as you read some of the comments, it's like, well, smile more. You've got no right. You've got no reason to be miserable. You're alive. People don't seem to understand that mental health is it's a singular thing. So we can all be put in a group. So people with depression can be put in the same group. However, we would still need a singular, um, singular therapy and things like this. And we may all, we may share a counselor, but that counselor's got to sort of realize that the person they may have seen before has got depression for a particular reason. And this person they're seeing next has got depression for a completely different reason. But you can't say what you said to this person here to the second person and say, well, it worked for the other guy, so what's wrong? Because that's not how depression works. It's not how anxiety works. What makes people anxious. One thing is, I hate people behind me. I absolutely detest people standing behind me. I hate it when I go shopping. I have to then stand sideways, so I've got my back to the other tiller, and I absolutely detest it. I still sort of go, oh God, no, I don't like that. Don't know why. It just sort of happened in my teens. I just hated people standing behind me. But yeah, there's still a lot of people just sort of getting this bucket, throwing everyone in. Everyone. Oh, you suffer from depression. You suffer from depression, and they pat it down. They're trying to make this depression sandcastle, and it can't work. It won't bind together because we are all different people. People suffer from depression for a whole host of things. It could be a relationship breakup, or sorry, a breakup of a relationship. It could be a death in the family, or a death of a friend. It could simply be they were in their dream job and they got sacked, or they lost that job. There are so many reasons of how depression can come on, that it's simply it could be someone that was abusing drugs, and has gone, not it's not really gone. They've had the up, they've had the high, yeah, they come down, they're now sober and they're drug free, but it's worked against them. Their body's now saying, well, you've poisoned yourself, or you've done this, you've done that. It could be, something that simple. But when we stop putting these same people, putting people in the same bucket, that's when people will start realizing that depression isn't just one big group. It is, in a way. You put us all under the same bracket. You can put 7 million people that suffer from depression under that bracket. But then you've got to put separate, you've then got to do it again. You've then got to say, well, he's depressed because of this, but he suffers from depression because of that, he does this, he does that, blah, 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 blah. And there could be 7 million reasons, you know. Now, I just blocked that number out of my head. I haven't genuinely sort of gone out and said, oh, there's 7 million people with depression. And that's why when counsellors, when I hear people going, oh, I'll just go to a counsellor, that's, once again, that's fine. That's a good advice for people that would look to that, you know, because not everyone with depression would turn around and say, yeah, I'll go to CBT, I'll go to group therapy, or I'll go and see a counsellor. I went to see a counsellor. I think I had 10 free appointments with her. But I ended up going to 9 because one of them I had to cancel because I had a massive migraine and I was in bed for like 3 days. So I ended up only having 9 because I didn't go for the 24 hours. It was only like 6 hours in advance. So it was just like, well, you've lost it. So, and I remember she sort of looked at me and she said, so tell me about why you suffer from depression. And I think back now is, why was that the first question she asked? Why didn't she go into sort of a rhetoric of, well, have you tried this? Have you done that? And it sort of dawned on me that actually it's because the last person she saw had completely different circumstances to why they suffer from mental health as to what I did, or possibly, but she's not going to know that until she finds out. And it's all easy as well to say to someone with depression, hey, go and see a counsellor, go to CBT, go to group therapy. Try telling that to someone that's got anxiety, that's not willing to do that because the anxiety's taken over so long, or has sort of manifested itself to the forefront, that when they think about doing that sort of thing, they get alarm bells ringing. Sorry, it was a cat. That's a cat climbing a tree. But yeah, I haven't seen much negativity on Facebook, which is great. But on Twitter, it's just a festival to some people to mock. When I did this when I did videos through December, and I got some comments of, well, you claim yourself to be a comedian, so how can you be sad? I don't claim to be sad at all. I'm telling you I suffer from depression. That's completely different to just being sad. Or the other one I got was, well, are you depressed because you look in the mirror and you're butt ugly? No. I know I'm butt ugly, but it hasn't made me depressed. And you just get people like that. And we had this thing, was it 2-3 months ago, of be kind, the hashtag be kind. And it was prevalent that social media had to sort of be at the forefront of that be kind. And yet within 48 hours of that be kind coming to the forefront and trending all over Facebook, Twitter, and I think it was also something on Instagram, that I ended up getting a lot of people, when I shared it and I shared a video, and I was doing something, and I didn't share a video, I wrote something and put be kind. And the first response was, no. If you're sad and depressed, smile more. If you've got anxiety, go for a walk. Because apparently it's that fucking simple. It isn't that simple at all. It's not that simple at all, and I apologise for the swear word, but it's sort of that tweet that I got, that response that I got, was, one, it was bang out of order, and two, it didn't really hurt, because I've learned now with Twitter that you get a lot of people that are just there to wind up, and I've seen a lot of TV programs have started to highlight this that there's always a troll somewhere. And earlier today, I got told I should wear a burqa so that I don't scare my kids. It's great, yeah. Shame I don't have any kids, so there's no need for me to wear a burqa, is there? But you know what? Life is life. But yeah, I think what we need to have is we need to have people actually realizing that them saying these things are counterproductive. I remember there was a fitness guy on Twitter. I think I blocked him because there was a guy who was a Twitter influencer. He's loved by everyone, but he did a video of him with his dog, and he said his dog makes him really really happy. Only one other thing that makes him happier than his dog was his daughter. Sorry, I didn't sleep well last night. And this guy just turned around. This guy was, muscle bound, fine, fair enough. He looked chiseled. Just turned to this guy on Twitter and just said, "Mate, not being funny, yeah. If your daughter makes you smile, you ain't got depression. You're just sad. So fucking smile more. Blah 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 blah. And why don't you get to the gym, you skinny runt?" Keyboard warriors, they always make me laugh. I got accused of being a keyboard warrior a couple of weeks ago because I stood up for someone, and it's like, oh, here we go, another keyboard warrior. Doesn't bother me because I know I'm not a keyboard warrior. If I was a keyboard warrior, I would be on Twitter all day, every day, just trolling people, and it's not my cup of tea, not my absolute cup of tea at all. But yeah, if we get people understanding more about mental health is an individual, a singular thing, instead of automatically assuming that we're all in the same boat, placing us in the same bucket. It's just wrong. It needs to stop, because once it stops, then people start to understand it more, and people to try and get to understand mental health is actually rather hard, because my view on it is you're not going to understand depression. You can have all the PhDs, the BAs, the masters, whatever. You can have all of them, but you're not going to truly understand depression until you actually suffer from it. Anyway, that's for me today, day 3, Wednesday. I've got a quiz, so I'm just about to make sure. I did a rehearsal yesterday afternoon after I did the video yesterday. And I enjoyed reading out the 50 questions and then answering them myself. So I got 50 out of 50, so that's great. Anyway, toodle pip.